Once it started moving, it did over a 1500% move, or a 16x. Of course, you could look at that as well, and this was in a matter of 70 days, so just over 2 months. And since that recent all-time high price for HBAR, we've been playing around for almost 500 days. So my question is, are we going to get another opportunity for HBAR in a variety of assets to have these parabolic impulses yet again? Just like we had back in early 2020, like we had in early 2021. Will we have another one for HBAR in 2023? The Hedera network is on track to process 1 billion transactions every 20 days at current pace. But at some point in the future, I believe it will be processing that volume every 20 minutes. What's up, guys? Kevin Cage here with another crypto update. In today's video, we're going to dive into the Bitcoin price chart, XRP price chart, HBAR, Casper, ALGO, and more. Hope everybody's doing well, and happy Friday. Links are in the video description, and let's kick it off. So, looking at the Bitcoin price chart on the 3-day time frame, just to re-emphasize a few things. During previous market bottoms, we can see 2015, a wick, double bottom retracement up to the 50%. Once we broke through the 50% Fibonacci retracement, of course, timing with the new rally, creating a new all-time high price. Next cycle, the 2018-2019 bottom. We got up to the 50% retracement, rejected back under the 236. Once we got back up to the 50% retracement, it was do or die. We broke through, creating a new high, in tandem with the Bitcoin halving in May 2020. Now, where are we? We can see we're currently at 23.4 for the Bitcoin price chart. Assuming this was the bottom, whether it is or not, I want to go off this assumption after a 70% plus crash, looking at some Fibonacci levels. Is very similar to previous bottoming structures that we had in 2015 and even 2018-2019. What's interesting is the 2015 bear market bottom had a double bottom, wick and wick, at equal levels. The 2018-2019 bottom had the bottom on the left side. If this were to be a bottoming structure where we bottomed back in November of 22, the bottoming structure is actually on the right-hand side. So each bottoming structure is different. Double bottom, left-hand side, and the right-hand side. Now, going off this assumption and understanding the Bitcoin halving will be approximately May of 2024. I think the Bitcoin price chart, the altcoin market, everything in between is due for a retracement. Remember that there are still some altcoins that are down 97% or if not more from their all-time high price. So if we were to assume that we get back up to the 50% retracement in the future, that's around 42,000 for Bitcoin. So let's talk about where altcoins could be during this rally. Now, looking at the open gaps on the CME futures or the Bitcoin futures chart, we have an open gap under 10K, we have 20K, we have 28K, along with about 35,000. Overlaying a Fibonacci retracement on that same level we were just drawing, we can see a few confluences. That 236 Fibonacci retracement is dead on the open gap in between 27 to 28K. We also have another open gap at 35K, very close to that 382 Fibonacci retracement. And I retweeted this today by the Crypto Investor, a case for the bulls and the bears. And a lot of people are not able to entertain this. I think this is entirely possible. Now, do I want a blow off top, Bitcoin doing a huge parabolic rise in a matter of months, alts approaching, if not surpassing their previous all-time high price? Absolutely. But I'm going off the assumption that I will be taking some heavy profits during a Bitcoin retracement this year. And what if we don't get up to that 42K or that 50% retracement? Well, I'd be looking at that next level around the 382 at 35K, where it's the 382 Fibonacci retracement and also an open gap on the Bitcoin futures. And the bottom line is, if Bitcoin this year comes up and pushes towards these levels, the altcoin market is going to climb significantly higher, hopefully approaching not just the market cap, but the prices that altcoins were previously at back in April and March of 2022. Now let's dive into ALGO. We'll talk about Casper, XRP, a few others. I think that Algorand, or the ALGO price chart, looks absolutely beautiful. So I have a loved one that went very heavy into ALGO around 30 cents. And notice, after the FTX debacle and the whole FTX situation and Skybridge selling large amounts, ALGO also dumped in price. And it went as low as 16 cents, basically similar to where we were back in March 2020. Now, it's terrifying, but when in doubt, zoom out. I told them, do not panic when you're retesting all-time low prices. If ALGO goes back to retest previous lows, that is when I'm accumulating. And not financial advice, but I believe that ALGO will be a survivor in the coming years in tandem with HBAR, XRP, you name it. And I believe, not financial advice, it's not if, it's just when we retrace to higher levels and eventually approach that all-time high price of $2.50. You could argue even $3 plus. Now, I know people say, oh, but the circulating supply, blah, blah, blah. The total supply that is finite for ALGO is 10 billion. I think that's a drop in a bucket when you're comparing it to other networks like ADA, XLM, XRP, even HBAR. So for somebody to tell me that ALGO has no chance of surpassing its all-time high price, I think that's very ignorant. Now I have this zone drawn out between 50 cents to 70 cents. Even if you're a super bear on ALGO, I am not interested in selling down here. I believe that we can get a ride, especially with the Bitcoin retracement, up to this area, and I'll show you why. Now, if you're a long-term investor and you are waiting for, $5 plus or double digits for ALGO, that's completely fine. I'm just showing you what I'm looking at for certain swing trade opportunities. And remember, this is only for my trading bag. My long-term holds include ALGO, HBAR, Casper, XRP, API3. Those are my 5 largest holdings today. I still hold other assets, but sometimes they're not significant amounts. I still hold a lot of QNT and other assets, but since some of them have already done huge pumps, I got my initial investment and then some out a while back. So if you're a long-term holder and you don't care about, little 20% or 50% moves, I get it. I would just plot a fib, look at some key levels, $1.80. I would go probably the 1618, around $4, and you could even go up to the 4.236. And bear in mind, we do not know what utility for these networks can bring. We have examples of Hedera right here with Avery Dennison, a council member. They have 22 billion items tracked, and they're actually using Hedera to bring trust and transparency. These are real enterprise adoption use cases that are just getting started. You can look at the governing council members, do your own research, but HBAR, ALGO, like these assets, I believe they're blue chips and I think they're here to stay. And that's not financial advice, just my opinion based off my own research. But when you see huge behemoths, Aberdeen, Wealth Manager, FIS, Google, IBM, etc., I think they're building some big solutions. Looking at Hedera transactions, 3.5 billion transactions on this mainnet thus far, and they are just getting started. And I say that because even right here, Christian Hasker of Hedera, the Hedera network is on track to process 1 billion transactions every 20 days at current pace. But at some point in the future, I believe it will be processing that volume every 20 minutes. And we only saw one partner on Hedera go live and really just start testing at scale. And we saw the transactions skyrocketing. And during that time, of course, HBAR was pumping in price, and there's a variety of catalysts. 1, maybe it was utility. 2, Bitcoin pumped 50% from its low. There could be a lot of excitement in traders. There's so many things that could be catalysts for HBAR when it was sitting down 90% plus. So that is huge to know, and I encourage you guys to watch this video by Avery Dennison. It is 1 minute 40 seconds long. 22 billion items tracked, utilizing Hedera to bring trust and transparency to supply chains. So now coming back to ALGO, I just plotted out the 702 retracement, $1.80. We have around $4 at the 1618 extension, and then the 4.236, just over $10. If it goes higher, awesome, but I'm just going to plot those 3 for now for long term. And you can apply this to XRP HBAR as well. Now let's go across and see what some other altcoins have done side by side with ALGO. And just going all the way across for ALGO, looking at the zone 50 cents to 70 cents, you can see the back test before the March 2020 crash. We can see up there, candle body stopping at that level, candle body stopping at that level, resistance, support, scrolling over, you have a triple bottom, 1, 2, 3, at around 69 cents. I'm just plotting 70 cents across the board for simplicity, okay? All the way over, a wick back test, support, then flipped into resistance, okay? And then here, also resistance. So all the way across. It didn't quite get there during this time, but let's keep looking at this. What we're going to do is stay on the daily time frame for ALGO. We're just going to use the all-time high, not that higher wick on the right, because that was due to illiquidity. We'll go to the low. We're just going to leave it at that. And let me actually change these fib settings really quick to my fractions. All right. So I'm using these other retracements, the 11.8 and the 0.059. This is basically 236 divided by 2, and then you divide that number again. So just getting more insights while I'm staying on the daily time frame using the same swing high to get other fib levels. And you can see these are still derived from the Fibonacci retracement. That is a very key level. What do we see here? It hit and tested that level again, as you can see. And this is all divisible by the 236. So those are levels I'm watching, 30 cents, 44 cents. So in recent months, what have we seen thus far? We saw Fetch AI from its November low just a couple months ago do over a 6x return, 500% increase from around 5 cents to over 30 cents. We can also see that it hit the daily 500 moving average. And I know that may seem like a funny MA, but I'll show you why I'm using it on the daily time frame. Turn the lights on for ALGO. Let's plot the 500 MA as well. So we can see in Fetch's case that it reached the 500 MA. We can see in Matic's case, it reached the 500 MA. And since June of last year, Matic also did over a 4x return. QNT last year also reached that 500 MA and actually went above and beyond and also did over a 5.5x return. Remember that Zilliqa also did the same thing, reaching and surpassing it, going all the way up to the 786 Fibonacci, doing over a 7x before a huge crash. So some have maintained strength and kept going like QNT, but others actually did a massive crash, but that was also timed with the market capitulating. We also had waves do over an 8x right here, 700% increase, then a huge crash, similar to ZIL. But even this month, we had LCX also reaching the 500-day MA, all the way up. Look at that, that's over a 5x in just a matter of weeks. So okay, just looking at the 500 MA, I get it, but what else? Let's plot a Fibonacci retracement the same way we did for ALGO, using the all-time high for fetch. Oh, I already have it plotted. What do we see? It hit the triple bottom. ALGO's triple bottom is up at 70 cents. It hit the 236, and let me just zoom in so you can see it. Okay, you can see the wick above it. So it hit the 236. It hit this purple line, the 500 MA. That's two confluences. It hit previous levels of resistance up here. And now let's go to the weekly as well. So for fetch, and we'll go to the weekly for ALGO. Fetch has reached its pivot right there, the P. On the weekly. What's the weekly pivot for Algorand? Right around, I'd say, 70 cents. So now turning the lights on and looking at a variety of levels, it's at the 236, it's at the daily 500 MA, it's at the weekly pivot, and for ALGO, that's also at the triple bottom. So for me, that 50 to 70 cent zone is so obvious right now, especially coming out of this V-shaped recovery. And remember, some alts don't even care that Bitcoin is still only at 23K, because Fetch actually already reached the same market cap it was at during the April-March high right there. There was a very small increase in supply, but that didn't stop it. It still is up over 5x from the low that was just a couple months ago. So this has reached the 236. We also have Render, and my Render trading bot has been killing it. And I mean, of course, it was pure luck just coming out of this cup and handle, but we can see not quite up to the 236 just yet, but hitting the 500 daily moving average. And we also have some very obvious levels right there. So we'll see if we can make it there. I mean, of course, doing a multiple 100% move in a matter of weeks, it's always due for a cool off. I would much rather look for an alt that is potentially forming a structure like this, cough, cough, XRP or Casper. But the thing about Render is its market cap was a lot smaller down here and it flew. So we're seeing some that are reaching the 236. Remember, QNT already hit the 382 last year right there, as you can see. Remember that Matic already hit the 500 MA right there in November and then right now. So a double top, drawing a fib as well from the all-time high to the low. Where have we gone? Look at this, to perfection, guys, right at the 382 Fibonacci retracement. I'll make sure I crop this so you can see that in the video. Whereas we're still seeing other assets that are playing around down here, still well below the 500-day MA and well below the 236. So do you think it's possible this year or in the coming months with the Bitcoin retracement that alts will climb? I do. That's provided that Bitcoin can keep this rally up, closing those CME gaps and does not come back down to the 18 to 20K level to retest. Because if Bitcoin comes back down from here, it could delay a lot of the altcoins by a couple months, so I'm hoping that we get that bullish case. When Bitcoin pulls back, even after doing a 50% move to the upside, people are going to call crypto a scam all over again. Alright, so that is basically my case for ALGO. Even with the increase in supply, guys, I still believe that we are en route to much higher levels instead of sitting at 26 cents today. During the crash, a variety of black swans, the charts are going to do what they're going to do, and it still retested, grabbed that liquidity at previous all-time lows. So we saw QNT make it all the way there. That would be over $1 for ALGO. We saw Zilliqa go up here. That would be $2 for ALGO. And I know the market caps are different, so it's not a fair comparison, but I just want to give you an example per the retracements. And I easily believe that ALGO reaches up here this year. And I know that's probably super conservative for you guys. All right, what about HBAR? So same thing. And if we even just reclaim the same market cap we had when HBAR was at the March-April high, that's still a 14 to 15 cent HBAR. You have a wick down there. We have some resistance here. Even going back to the weekly as well, let's look at that Fibonacci pivot. Where's that pivot? Right at 14 cents, right at that wick right there. And one thing I want you to remember, because my buddy Chris was showing me, is when HBAR goes, it goes. It did that whole move, and you could measure from this low. This thing did a 9x in 41 days, so just over a month. Then after that, it crashed, consolidated for basically another year, so over 300 days. Then from this low, it moved again. And how quick did it go once it started moving? Once it started moving, it did over a 1500% move or a 16x. Of course, you could look at that as well. And this was in a matter of 70 days, so just over 2 months. And since that recent all-time high price for HBAR, we've been playing around for almost 500 days. So my question is, are we going to get another opportunity for HBAR in a variety of assets to have these parabolic impulses yet again? Just like we had back in early 2020, like we had in early 2021. Will we have another one for HBAR in 2023? Even looking at the all-time high, drawing the fibs, 14-15 cents, yeah, makes sense per the 236 and these levels, I could see it. But friendly reminder, and we showed this in a video on the HBAR playlist on our channel, 42 cents, we have a gap. What is the 702? 42 cents. I would love to break up higher from the 7 cent area, climb all the way up to 9 to 10 cents yet again. We can play around there, establish support, and then climb all the way up to 14 to 16 cents. We have to reach each level, flip it to support, consolidate, and get ready for another wave. And what am I doing if Bitcoin goes back to 20K or creates another all-time low and it's just a crazy black swan? If any of the all-time going over actually crash, that's when I'm going to buy more. Right now, I'm not really buying. I'm doing some swing trades, but for the most part, I am just waiting. Next up, our buddy Casper. So this is something I've been adding and adjusting for months and months and months. You guys know I was talking about Casper all the way back here, hoping that we're actually going to have a nice bull run and approach the previous highs, or at least up to like 40, 60 cents again. We did not. That was when Bitcoin peaked and did a massive crash. We're in a clear accumulation structure. I've shown a variety of charts on Twitter as well with the cup and handle setup, and I hope you can see it right there. Up, you have the double bottom and the handle. So typically, in just looking at this, if I fundamentally believe in a project long term and I was buying at 10 cents, I was buying at 7 cents, and it was ranging 3 cents for over 200 days, I can tell you I got my dollar cost average incredibly low. And did we actually break through this trend line and do a perfect retest right there? As you can see, right there. This is the do or die. Is it going to be the left shoulder, head, right shoulder? We come back down to retest the lows? That's possible if Bitcoin dumps. If Bitcoin flies up to 25K, 28K, I believe Casper goes right up to 5 to 7 cents. So I would just do something basic like this and assume this is a potential cup and handle forming. I would go from the bottom of the cup, and for simplicity and being conservative, let's just pretend this is the top of the cup. We'll copy that. We're going to add that right to the bottom of the handle or the pullback. What does that take us to? That takes us up to 5.4 cents. And that is actually only the top of that cup. To me, that would make sense. Remember that render even from the high. I mean, we could use candle bodies to be more conservative, because sometimes using these exchanges that are a liquid, it's not always the most accurate. Remember Alliance Block before the hack, like made it all the way up here. We had render also up here. LCX went way high. And I'm just conservatively looking at 5 to 7 cents for a beautiful zone. So I think we're long overdue for a nice big move. We're still sitting under 4 cents. HBAR was under 4 cents. Gala was under 4 cents, sitting at 5.5. Rose was under 4 cents. There were so many alts that were under 4 cents and got that push up to 5, 7, or even 13 cents. So just zooming out on Casper on the daily once more, you can plot a few obvious levels like 22 cents, 11 cents, 3 cents, etc. But turning the lights on. This is the trend that I've been following for a very long time. Gaps, open gaps that I believe close at around 12 cents, 18 cents, and 43 cents. So both Casper and HBAR have a gap around 42, 43 cents. And the apex of this triangle right here is about March 1st, you can see. And it's February 3rd. We better get a move soon, because I believe we're going to come right up to 5.5 to 7 cents, this zone. Now, if we zoom in a little bit on this triangle and take a closer look at how we've been doing, it looks like we broke out of this triangle. I thought we were finally en route. We had the pullback, a perfect back test to 3 cents, the 3 cent zone that has been here forever, all the way since 2021. And as we scroll back over, we broke out of the triangle. We're retesting for support, came all the way back to 3 cents, but now we're back over the triangle, and look, I have not adjusted this. We can see this wick came right back to the triangle. Look how clean that is. And I personally think that's just like a cool coincidence. Now, as we're looking right here, we're in this range, bouncing between this triangle all the way up to 3.8. We have to break through this. And I have alerts set on the RSI and at 4 cents, so if we're en route and we start climbing, I'll get notified. But yeah, talk about a long wait. There's going to be a few catalysts for Casper when it goes. The second I stop talking about Casper, the second I look away or just get annoyed and frustration, it's going to pump. So they're announcing a Fortune 100 customer in the coming weeks. I hope it's this month. Potential big exchange listing, cough cough Binance. Their NFT marketplaces are live, plus the new Casper wallet. And last but not least, we have XRP. So a similar setup to Casper. It's a little different structure, but you can see the double bottom formation, potential cup and handle. So if you were considering this to be the handle, we could take a look and try to have a conservative estimate. And just remember, there have been so many altcoins that have already reached and challenged these previous highs up there. That would be 50 to 60 cents for XRP. If Bitcoin pushes up to 28K, we're definitely going to see it. The 500-day MA for XRP is currently at 60 cents. And I mean, just looking back at these levels, we had the double bottom right there. I'm always just impressed how long it takes for XRP to move with the market. And one thing I'm looking for on the macro is I just want us to fly. Right here, we have the 8 and the 21 EMA. I want us to fly. I want the buy volume to come in, and I want to have a golden cross there. And once again, I am super bullish on the crypto asset class. I have a large chunk of my net worth in crypto. If I didn't believe in the potential of some of these utility tokens having massive returns in the future, I wouldn't hold any. I have extremely high hopes for the future of the crypto market. I think the bear market beat people down so badly, they can't even entertain what the next bull run will feel like. And day by day, this asset class is being more established. And last but not least, remember Jim Cramer says Bitcoin is being manipulated higher and he wouldn't touch it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, I'd greatly appreciate hitting the like button and subscribing. Let me know your thoughts down below. And as always, my link tree is linked right in the top of this YouTube video description with all links, crypto resources, and discounts. I'll catch you in the next one.